Going to be a fun one. This is the Smart Woodshop Christmas list for 2022. I'm Ron Paulk and this is the Smart Woodshop. If you want to get yourself a detailed set of plans to build a smart woodshop for yourself, a smart station, smart bench, or any of the accessories that work with the system, there's a link in the description of this video down below. There's a big diversity of tools here, but there's one thing that every one of them have in common, and that is they are tools that I picked out because I use them almost every time I'm in the wood shop. And any one of them, if I didn't have them or they went away, I would replace them immediately. I'm going to go through the tools in the order that you'll see them on the list. TSO parallel guides. I use these all the time. I've done lots of videos on them. You just see me use them. And this is just representative. There's more to them than this, but they are a mainstay. And if you have a track saw, these are just indispensable. This is the GRS-16. Now this one is the PE. They also have the regular GRS-16. Either one is great. This is just my preference. The TSO Bigfoot, this is an excellent accessory if you have the Festool Domino. Power lock, designed by David Reisinger, one of the Smart Woodshop family, and we had the honor of helping David bring them to the market, working with TSO. My Atlas 42 apron, all my nail bags and vests and things I've had over the years, which I still need and use when I'm doing framing and siding and those kind of things. But for my day in and day out in the wood shop or trimming a house, this apron, you see me wear it all the time. This one is many years old, and my wife and I used to sort of battle over it. When she'd come into the shop, she'd grab it, adjust it, put her tools in it, and then I wouldn't have one. But eventually we got her one, and so now I get to keep mine for me. The TSO MTR-X. Now this one is brand new. I did a video on this when they released it. I haven't had a lot of use with it, but the little I've used it, I'm really enjoying it. This is the first tool on the market that I can trust to allow me to have adjustable angles when using my track saw. I've got it assembled the way that I use it. A digital gauge, calibrate my tools to make sure that I can trust the scale or the gauge that's on the tool. All of my DeWalt batteries, and just simply take this, clip it on, it shows me how charged the battery is, and I have two USB plugs. Now the one in my store is for the DeWalt because I have a lot of DeWalt batteries, but they make these for every brand out there. In fact, the Smart Woodshop fam that told me about it was a Makita shop, and they had this for their Makita. This one is a must-have for me. I've got multiple of these. It is a fast cap tape measure. This one in particular is the metric standard, absolutely essential for me. I like metric. I'm getting much more comfortable with metric over the years, but I still like having the backup of the standard dimensions on the other side in case I lose my footing and I need to be reminded where I'm at. Saw Stop CTS, the compact table saw. This is the smallest table saw on the market that has the safety brake system. And that is the #1 criteria for me in choosing a table saw. This cordless DeWalt router, it's not a refined tool that's very precise. It's nothing like my Festool routers. But I'll tell you, after getting one, and it's just a great tool to get things done. It's a workhorse that I went out and got a second one so that I could have one in the fixed base and one in the plunge base and have different bits set up. This is the Festool Domino 500. I'm not going to try to sell you on it. It's an expensive tool, but in my opinion, it's a value tool worth every penny. And there's not another tool on the market that even comes close to doing what this does. Stiletto titanium framing hammer. This thing is probably 15 years old. It is the best framing hammer that I've ever had. I like it because it has the mass for driving nails when you're doing framing, but it doesn't have the weight. It's only 14 ounce, so you don't get the framer carpenter's elbow. This is the Festool Top Rock. Now you haven't seen this in my shop before. I just got this. It is a Bluetooth speaker built in to a toolbox. The reason you haven't seen me use this, and I actually have 3 of them, watch for a video coming up very soon, because all 3 of them are going to be prizes for a competition we're going to have at the Smart Wood Shop. 4.5-inch cordless saw from DeWalt. Again, it's one of those ones that I didn't expect much from it. I had a particular job cutting down doors for the Florida Fixer. I picked it up for that, and it's been great. It's a great little saw. I buy on Bare Tool because I've already got the batteries. The next tool on the list I can't show you anymore because I don't have mine. It's a Trailer Valet XL. Now, as you know, I've upgraded to the XL Pro and then ultimately to the RVR. I really love the RVR. It's remote control, but it's a lot more expensive, and you can do almost everything with the Trailer Valet XL that you can do with the RVR. So I wanted to recommend that one over the more expensive version. Dremel cordless, it's important. I've had these corded before. What really makes this valuable to me is it being cordless. This tool here, with all of the accessories that you can get for it, can do so much. In fact, if you watched me install the smart lock on the Florida Fixer recently, I grabbed this out and was able to carve away a little bit at where the striker was so that everything fit perfectly. And in addition, there's this little kit. It's not on the Christmas list. I'll add it if I have time. If not, it is in our store. But it's just an inexpensive kit I got off Amazon with every little kind of cutter and sander that you can imagine. Really extends the use of this. This is an auto loader. Now, this brand is Craftsman, but it's a patented design, and the one in the store is blue, but it's exactly the same. A friend, a client, somebody I built a couple of houses for, bought this for me, had one themselves and loved it and said, and gave it to me as a gift. I liked it so much that I bought multiple of these. It's the best auto changing screwdriver. In fact, this is my main screwdriver. I keep this one in my apron, and I have a couple of others, and I'm going to get more. What I like about them is that I can set them up with, in this case, this one has Phillips and flat, and you just rotate it around. But what I can do is take another one I have, which I've done, pop these out and drop in, say, square drive and Torx or something like that. So I can set them up with these standard tips. U-tainers, almost don't have to tell you about these. If you've been following the Smart Wood Shop, they've been around since the beginning. I use these for all forms of organization. I have specific shelves that these fit in the Smart Wood Shop, as well as the smaller ones go in my hardware drawer and have all different sizes of screws and nails and nuts and bolts. It's just the best organization system I've been able to find, mainly because of the varying sizes and how easy they are to use. They have that old style kind of coin wallet. You remember from when, at least I remember from being a kid, of those coin purses that you just squeeze. So great design and a lot of flexibility in sizing. Ear protection. This is a great little stocking stuffer. I really like this style, this design, because they fit around your neck and they're there where you need them when you're ready to start the saw and just drop them in. The Parf Guide Mark II. This is one of those tools that I would replace within hours if it went missing. This one I use for all of the Smart Wood Shop tools, the benches, the router tables, everything to get that MFT, that 20 millimeter hole laid out at 96 millimeter spacing. I get CNC accuracy working with a drill in my shop. Sticking with precision and accuracy, the Starrett combination square, I did a review on this, being challenged to spend the kind of money that a precision tool like this costs versus one that looks just like it, that's a fraction of the price. But I'll tell you, I have used this in aiding me in setting up the offset on the Parf Guide Mark II, as well as other precise requirements in the wood shop. These are the Jessam Clear Cut stock guides. This is on my router fence here. You've seen me use these in the shop quite a bit. I have 2 sets. I run 2 router tables, and this one, the stock is feeding under their one-way wheels. So actually this is the direction. The wheels roll, there's a right and a left, and they're completely adjustable, really precise piece of gear. But when you roll your stock in, it will hold it down and pull it slightly in toward the cutter. I also use the Jessam stock guides on my table saw. I've shown you how to make these accessory fences for any table saw you have, and with that track that I've put in it, I put those guides in there, and this really helps me in those operations on the table saw, again, where I'm pushing through. It'll keep the stock tight to the fence and keep it from kicking back. This is a router edge guide for the DeWalt system. Whether you have DeWalt or Makita or Milwaukee, any brand, you really should have one of these. This particular one works with the larger DeWalt routers as well as the smaller cordless router on the plunge base. They have another one that works with the smaller base, but this is the one that I need with the plunge base because, again, the edge guides and the plunging for me go together. I buy these Sharpies by the box. They're not the Sharpie brand, they're Milwaukee, but they're particularly good in construction because they are designed to work through dust and muck and wet and oil. They'll mark through anything. So having a hand, and they make multiple colors as well. So these are a great thing to have a handful of in your kit. We save the best for last, the smart woodshop plans. Whether you want a set of plans to build a full-on smart woodshop for yourself or one of the workbenches, one of the accessories, you can get the plans, and what's really neat about them is you can certainly print them, but you can also just put them on your smartphone, take them to the shop, and then you don't need magnifying glasses or anything like that to see those fine details. You can back off, see the whole thing, or you can zoom in and see the dimensions or the details. It's been a lot of fun making this Smart Woodshop Christmas list for 2022. Now, what you need to do is share this video with somebody in your life that wants to get you something for your woodshop. You have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Thanks for hanging out with me this year in the Smart Woodshop.